Beloved seeker, pause for a moment. What if I told you that the world you see is not the world that is? What if the colors, the rules, the truths you were taught were never meant to reveal reality, only to keep it stable? Because awakening is not about discovering something new. It is about realizing you have been dreaming with your eyes open. And the moment you truly wake up, you can never go back to sleep. Imagine this. You awaken in a room where everyone agrees the walls are blue. They have always been blue. They will always be blue. Generations have lived and died believing in the sacred blueness of this room. Yet your eyes, your inner sight, perceive something else. You see green. Not a faint hint, not a trick of the light, but a clear, undeniable truth. At first you doubt yourself. You wonder if something is wrong with your perception, your mind, your sanity. Because how could you be right and everyone else be wrong? But this is the moment where awakening begins. Consensus reality is not built on truth. It is built on agreement, on comfort, on repetition, on the silent, collective decision to accept what is familiar over what is real. The blue room was never about color. It was about control. Awakening does not arrive like thunder. It arrives like a whisper, a question, a contradiction, a subtle crack in the surface of what you once believed was solid. And then you see it. The seam, the hidden stitching that holds together the illusion of normalcy. The places where the story doesn't quite make sense. The moments when reality feels rehearsed. Once you see the seam, you cannot unsee it. You begin to notice patterns others ignore. You hear meanings hidden beneath words. You feel truths vibrating beneath appearances. To perceive differently is to stand alone. To question is to disrupt. To awaken is to become a stranger in a familiar land. This is the paradox of enlightenment. The moment you see clearly, you realize how many prefer not to see at all. The first breath of awareness is both liberation and exile. You are free, yet no longer fully part of the illusion that once embraced you. You walk among others, but you no longer walk within their dream. You become a ghost in a room of dancers, watching as they move in perfect rhythm, never realizing the music is imagined. And this is where philosophy is born, not from curiosity alone, but from the courage to see what others refuse to see. Awakening is not comfortable. It is not easy. It is not celebrated. It is the tearing of the veil. It is the moment you realize you were never meant to fit inside the dream. You were meant to awaken from it. The world did not change. Your vision did. First, awakening feels like magic, like discovering a hidden doorway inside a house you have lived in your entire life. A secret passage behind a familiar wall. A truth that was always there, waiting for your eyes to finally open. The thrill is undeniable. The realization that you were never lost and only asleep. That reality is deeper, richer, more mysterious than you were ever told. But as the enchantment settles, a quiet realization begins to emerge. Seeing clearly comes with a cost, not a loud cost. Not a dramatic cost, but a subtle, invisible one. Because once you pierce the veil, you begin to notice how few others wish to look beyond it. The excitement of discovery slowly gives way to the weight of understanding, and you realize, awakening is not only illumination, it is also isolation. You are not cast out with force. No doors are slammed in your face. No voices shout your name in rejection. Instead, you drift, gently, silently, almost imperceptibly. Your thoughts move in one direction, while the world continues in another. Your laughter echoes differently. Your questions unsettle comfortable conversations. Your presence begins to feel unfamiliar. You are still surrounded by people, yet something inside you knows you no longer share the same landscape of perception. This is the soft exile. Not the exile of arrogance, but the exile of awareness. You do not feel superior. You feel tender, humbled by what you now see, aware of how fragile the illusion truly is. And in that humility, you begin to understand, awakening is not about being above others. It is about standing alone in truth. Imagine sitting in a dark theater. The music swells, the story unfolds. The characters live, love, and suffer before your eyes. To the audience, it is real. It is captivating. It is everything. But now imagine, you stand up, you walk behind the curtain, you step onto the stage from the outside. Suddenly you see the ropes, the pulleys, the hidden lights, the actors removing their costumes, the painted backdrops held together by fragile frames. You return to the audience and whisper, "It is only a play." But instead of relief, you are met with resistance. Because to them, the illusion is not a performance. It is their reality. Your words do not awaken them. They disturb them, and so you are left with a choice. Return to the seats and pretend, or walk away from the theater entirely. The mystic chooses the path outside, a silent path, a vast path, a sacred path, not because they wish to be alone, but because truth has no audience. The burden of vision is not the sight itself, but the distance it creates. To see clearly is to walk gently, to speak softly, to live humbly, because the seer does not awaken to escape the world. The seer awakens to understand it. And though the path may be solitary, it is never empty. For in the silence, the universe walks beside you. There comes a moment on the path of awakening when the fog finally lifts. You rise above the valley of noise and distraction and stand upon the mountaintop of clarity. From this height, everything becomes visible. You see the frantic movements below, the endless pursuits, the restless ambitions, the invisible chains people call purpose. You see how fear disguises itself as success, how identity is carefully constructed armor, how morality often bends to comfort rather than truth. And for the first time, you understand the world not as it appears, but as it is. Yet clarity presents a paradox. You cannot remain on the barren peak forever. The air is thin. The silence is immense. And though the view is breathtaking, it is not a place where life can be lived. But returning to the valley is no simple task. To descend is to re-enter the fog, to speak in a language shaped by illusion, to interact with a world that now feels distant. This is the mountaintop dilemma. You have seen too much to belong below, yet you cannot stay above without losing touch with life itself. Clarity does not always feel like peace. Sometimes it feels like standing on the edge of existence with nothing to hold on to. When you begin to see through everything, ambition, fear, status, identity, even the stories you once told yourself about who you are left with an unsettling realization. Nothing is solid. The structures that once gave life meaning reveal themselves as temporary scaffolding. The beliefs that once grounded you fade like mist in the morning sun. And suddenly, you are holding nothing. This is the shadow side of clarity. A dizzying openness, a vast emptiness, a silence so deep it can feel like falling. Without grounding, this metaphysical vertigo becomes dangerous, because when meaning dissolves and nothing rushes in to replace it, the mind can slip into the abyss. This is where nihilism waits, wearing the mask of enlightenment, whispering that nothing matters, that existence is hollow, that life is merely illusion without purpose. But this is not true awakening. This is despair, dressed as insight. True clarity is not cold. It is not distant. It is not detached from the world. True clarity burns. It is a radiant fire that illuminates without destroying, that warms without consuming, that reveals truth without erasing meaning. The awakened soul does not become indifferent, it becomes compassionate. Because once you see the illusion, you also see the suffering it hides. You see the fear beneath the masks, the longing beneath the distractions, the silent cries beneath the noise. Clarity, when embraced with wisdom, does not strip life of meaning. It transforms meaning. It teaches you that purpose is not something found. It is something created. Not imposed by the world, but chosen by the soul. And here, in this sacred space between meaning and meaninglessness, you face a choice. Will you harden into a brittle cynic, shielded by intellect but empty of warmth? Or will you soften into a sage, grounded in truth yet open to wonder? The cynic sees through the illusion and closes their heart. The sage sees through the illusion and opens it wider. The abyss of clarity is not meant to swallow you. It is meant to test you. To ask, can you stand in truth without losing compassion? Can you see the emptiness and still choose to fill it with light? Because true awakening is not about escaping the world. It is about returning to it with eyes open, heart softened, and spirit anchored in truth. Clarity does not end the journey, it deepens it. After the abyss, after the silence, after the clarity that stripped everything away, something unexpected happens. Life begins to call you back, not through thunder, not through revelation, but through the quietest whispers of existence. A child's laughter drifting through the air, the gentle warmth of sunlight on your skin, the aroma of tea rising like a soft offering, the rustling wind brushing past the trees as if the world itself were breathing. These moments seem small, almost insignificant, yet they carry a sacred weight. They whisper to you, return. Return to the world, return to the rhythm, return to the mystery. Because awakening was never meant to pull you away from life. It was meant to bring you back to it, with open eyes and an awakened heart. The game is not over. It is only now beginning. The question then arises, how does the seer return? Not by pretending they never saw the truth, not by closing their eyes to the illusion, and not by abandoning the world in cold detachment. The return is a conscious dance. You realize the purpose of seeing through the illusion was never to escape it. It was to move within it freely, to live without fear, to act without attachment, to exist without the desperate need for control. The ancient wisdom says, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. Nothing changes, and yet, everything changes. Because now, every action becomes sacred. Every moment becomes intentional. Every breath becomes a quiet celebration of existence. You no longer move through life unconsciously. You move through it gracefully. This is the highest art of the awakened soul, to return to the rituals of life without becoming trapped by them. You work, you love, you laugh, you struggle, you speak, you listen. But now, each moment is infused with presence. Each interaction is touched by awareness. Each experience carries a subtle glow of understanding. You are no longer bound by the illusion, yet you still participate in it. You become like an actor who knows they are in a play. You deliver your lines with sincerity. You feel the emotions deeply. You engage fully in the unfolding story. But inside, you remain free. There is no fear of losing, no obsession with winning, no need to cling to outcomes, only presence, only participation, only grace. And here lies the ultimate realization. The greatest danger was never the illusion. The greatest danger was never the awakening. The greatest danger now was refusing to return, because to awaken and withdraw from life is to miss the final lesson. The mystic's true triumph is not in seeing through the dream, but in loving it anyway. To witness the dance of atoms and stars, of laughter and sorrow, of beginnings and endings, and still say, yes. Yes to existence. Yes to the mystery. Yes to the fleeting beauty of this moment. Yes to the sacred dance of being alive. You become light not by escaping the world, but by embracing it fully. And in that embrace, you realize you were never separate from the cosmos. You were always part of the dance. Awakening is not the end of the story. It is the beginning of conscious living. The veil was torn. The solitude was endured. The abyss was crossed. And now, you return, not as who you once were, but as who you truly are. A participant in the great mystery. A witness to the infinite. A dancer in the sacred rhythm of existence. Beloved seeker, if you have reached this moment, it is not by accident. Something within you has been listening. Something ancient. Something quiet. Something real. You have seen the veil tear. You have walked the path of solitude. You have stood at the edge of the abyss, and you have returned to the sacred dance. So let me ask you, what will you do with what you now see? Will you close your eyes and return to sleep? Or will you walk forward, awake, aware, and alive? Because awakening is not a destination. It is a decision, made every single day, and the fact that you are here means your soul has already chosen. If this message resonated with you, then you are not alone on this path. Subscribe to this channel and walk with us as we explore the mysteries of consciousness, the hidden architecture of reality, and the awakening that is unfolding within you. Like this video to affirm your journey. Share it with someone whose soul is ready to remember. And most importantly, take a deep breath. Feel the present moment. Because the truth you have been searching for has never been outside of you. It has always been you. Welcome home. Until next time, Universal Consciousness signing out.